Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tellin Tuesdays with myself, Deirdre Ryan. I am a certified parent coach, and I work one-on-one with clients in person in Cork City and also online. And I also host a range of workshops and support groups and meetups. So if you're looking for some help to be the parent you want to be, please get in touch. So first, Happy New Year to all of you. I wish for you your greatest heart's desires, right? Whatever that may be for you. And yes, enjoy. And I'm going to have to say listening, the ability to listen, because that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I do have a very cute little rabbit here with me that is in my hands and wants to pop in. Some of you may know me from my other job, which is working with young children, doing stories and music and movement. So I do read a lot of picture books every year. And the picture book that got me the most this year was called The Rabbit Listened. And I am actually going to read this book to you since it's the first session of the new year. Just wanted to start off with a picture book that I think is a beautiful book. I think it's a wonderful book for children of all ages. I also think it's a profoundly simple and poignant and important parenting book. I really do. I love so much about this book. The only small bit I don't love is that the snake is a little bit demonized again, which happens in a lot of books, unfortunately, a lot of our cultural stories. But other than that, I'm a big fan. I did give it for Christmas to my niece and nephews. I also have a copy for ourselves. And I've given it to my almost 14-year-old child. And I also gave them a little rabbit. So everyone got a little rabbit as well. So the reason this book struck me so much is that it's something I struggle with. When something, I'm actually a very good listener, except when it comes to if my kiddo's having a problem, because I'm a very fast fixer. I have always been a fast fixer in my own life. I almost do it without thinking. I think in a lot of ways throughout my life it kept me safe. Right? If I saw a problem or felt there was a problem, I'd find a solution really fast to keep everything calm. Right? So I understand why I do it, and it has its place and its merit. But sometimes people don't need fixing. They don't need ideas. They just need to be listened to, including all of us. So this picture book very much is about that. And you see that the animals come in with all different ideas of what they can and can't do, or how they're going to make it better for this little kid. And all the kid really needs is to be listened to, find their own way, and then be able to express out what's going on, and then be able to move on, right? I think all of us need to be heard first before we need solutions. Sometimes all we need is to be listened to, right? And I know parenting, for me, especially of a teenager, they need that listening space even more. And it's something I am personally working on and working on with other friends as well, because it can be very challenging, especially when your kids are older and they might be bringing you really upsetting things that they need to share. And sometimes our tendency is to try to fix it or come up with solutions, or maybe even sometimes almost to dismiss it and say, oh, it's fine. Oh, that's just part of being a teenager or whatever age, right? So it's just another reminder. Sometimes we just need to listen. So even in our home, because we know this book so well, and we know the little rabbit, sometimes I'll say, do you need a rabbit, right? Because now it gives us a really great language for being able to hold that space for our kids to just listen, and to know that we are holding that space of listening. And if they want something, some advice or some feedback, they can then ask for it. But sometimes you just need to be listened to, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna read this book to you. And as you can see, Santa did bring me a ring light, and you can see the rings in my glasses. But it's really handy because I can do videos any time of day now. So anyway, so here's a little story called The Rabbit Listened, right? And it's written and illustrated by Corey Duerfeld, right? So again, it's not just a kid's book, it's also a parenting book. See if you can recognize yourself in any of these animals. Here. One day, Taylor decided to build something. Something new. Something special. Something amazing. Taylor was so proud. But then, out of nowhere, things came crashing down. The chicken was the first to notice. Here's one idea. Cluck, cluck, what a shame. Oh, I'm sorry, this happened. Let's talk about it. Cluck, cluck, cluck. But Taylor didn't feel like talking about it. So the chicken left. Right? So sometimes I just want to talk about it, but that's not what's needed. Next came the bear. Grr, roar, how horrible. I bet you feel angry. Let's shout about it. Grr, roar. But Taylor didn't feel like shouting. So the bear left. Again, it's another tendency. So maybe your kid tells you something that happened at school or on a playground and your child got hurt and you just want to be like, oh, you might want to yell, but that's actually frightening, right? You may not want to yell about it right now. The elephant knew just what to do. Trumpada! I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly the way things were. But Taylor didn't feel like remembering. So the elephant left. Right? So again, oh, let's make it better. Let's fix it. We'll do it exactly the same way. Everything will be fine. Right? But he doesn't want to do that. One by one, they came. The hyena, hee, let's laugh about it. The ostrich, gulp, let's hide and pretend nothing happened. The kangaroo, tsk, tsk, what a mess, let's throw it all away. And the snake, shh, let's go knock down someone else's. Right? So can you hear yourself in any of those? Or maybe your partner or a friend or a teacher? Right? But Taylor didn't feel like doing anything with anybody. So eventually they all left until Taylor was alone. In the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit. Get my rabbit. But it moved closer and closer until Taylor could feel its warm body. Oh, I can all relate to that quality, that presence of silence, someone being there for us. Together they sat in silence until Taylor said, "Please stay with me." The rabbit listened. The rabbit listened as Taylor talked. And the rabbit listened as Taylor shouted. So beautiful. All right, just that presence of being there and listening. And now Taylor's ready to open up. The rabbit listened as Taylor remembered and laughed. The rabbit listened as listened to Taylor's plans to hide, to throw everything away, to ruin things for someone else. So, little rabbit, just listening, not advising, not getting upset, not bringing our own parent drama to the story, just listening. Through it all, the rabbit never left. And when the time was right, the rabbit listened to Taylor's plan to build again. "I can't wait," Taylor said. It's going to be amazing. The end. Right, so I just think that is such a powerful book about listening, about our presence, our silent, loving, nurturing presence, allowing our children to express all those feelings, whatever they are, the sadness, hurt, anger, just allowing all those feelings to come, emotions, right? They literally pass through. It's actually energy, emotion. I love that's a beautiful way of looking at them, right? Just giving them space, allowing it to pass through. And as you can see, Taylor at the end has worked through all of those big feelings and is excited now to build something new, right? I just think, again, what a powerful visual story. I actually like a lot of visuals. I like a language sometimes, again, because, as I said, my nature would be to do all of those things. I have done all of those animals. Well, I haven't done the snake. I haven't done one where I'm going to knock something else down. But the hiding it, pretending it didn't happen, laughing about it, talking about it, getting angry about it, right? Fixing it. I've done all of those, and I'm sure I will continue to try. But now we have this language in my home. As I said, even with a 14-year-old, sometimes they just need a rabbit, and it is a nice way to, I think, for me and our family, and maybe for you and your family, to have something else holding it for you as well. Right? So I hope you enjoyed the story, The Little Rabbit Who Listened, and I hope it helps you in some way, just to really bring in that loving presence with our children, no matter their age, even if they're 25, 30, right? Even with partners, I think this book is not just about parenting, it's about human relationships, right? And what a lot of us really need to be listened to be loved and supported and listened to, right? Because I will say, the last thing I will say, and especially if you have kind of older kids, sometimes for myself anyway, when the fear kicks off inside of me, right, I bring all my big overwhelming emotions into the conversation, which is the fastest thing to shut down a conversation. It's also the fastest way to make the conversation about you, right? So I have learned it many, many times over and over, and I think that's why this book really resonates as well, because it gives me something very tangible and a really beautiful conversation to have in our house. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to leave you with that. I know it's a bit longer today, but I just thought that story was worth sharing. It's worth buying and owning, sharing with people. If you're ever giving presents, I do like to give books as gifts, right? So yeah, and I wish you all a beautiful, magical week of listening, maybe even noticing, are you ever stepping in as one of those animals, and noticing when we step in, what happens with our children, right? I think the first step to everything is noticing, just noticing it, not judging it, right? Just loving ourselves through all of it. And yeah, just see, or noticing for yourself. Maybe you ask a friend or a partner, maybe you've brought a big problem, and notice the difference. Maybe they want to talk about, maybe they have an agenda, maybe they're afraid of what you're feeling, right? So just noticing and just being open to the idea of holding that beautiful, loving, silent space. And as you know, rabbits, they don't really make too much noise, and they also have very big ears for listening. So again, I hope if you or your children ever need a rabbit, I really hope that there's a rabbit available for you. So I will talk to you again next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Until then, bye.